check this out. Look at this view. Coming through the tunnel. Curved tunnel. Oh, it's on the other side, isn't it? CPU? Love all those box cars. They're my favorites. was a good one. Man, that was a good one. I'm so glad I got that one. Almost missed it. Yeah, so I was looking for a motel because got to find somewhere to sleep. It's starting to get kind of late. And last night I stayed in Logan, West Virginia. I don't know what I'm gonna do here tonight, but I had to start looking around a little bit. That one was closed, so I was over there looking at that, and a train right across the road comes by. That was this one. So I drove about 5 or 6 miles in front of it and got it coming through that tunnel. I wanted to get one through that tunnel, but I'm definitely not going to be sleeping in the truck, I'll tell you that. I tried sleeping in that truck when I was in Iowa, and I could not do it. I could not sleep in the truck. It's just too uncomfortable. I don't know how people can do that. So I had to drive out to a park. I found a park. I had a sleeping bag and I laid on the ground and slept out in the middle of nowhere out in Iowa in the park. This time I'm in West Virginia. Don't know if I'll do that here. They got bears here. They probably won't bother you. We got bears back home. Hey, just had one about 10 miles or so from my house. Somebody just saw one just last week. Okay, let's see what else we can get into. All right, here it comes.
NS 956 south, that's clear signal, milepost 40.3, 956 out.
40.3. Oh, I can't get over there. There's a car coming. There they go. Couldn't get on the other side of the road though. One car rule got me on that one. Well, there you go. That was cool. I got here just in time. Hey, I got to talk to the conductor's wife when I was in Crescent Springs. She was over there on the curve at the top of the hill, near the top of the hill where I was filming it. And she asked me if I got good pictures of it, and I said, I'm filming it for YouTube. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let's get some other trains while we're out. Here you can see the re-rail pieces. See that? They try to pull the cars back up on the rail with these things, and they also use pieces of wood. Here's a quick shot of the derailment in 4K. You can see the re-railer in front of the wheels. And there's the other car right there. This shot's in 4K. Now the stabilizer doesn't work in 4K, so if this is kind of shaky, that's why. Leaked a little bit of gravel, rock, whatever. There you go. Okay, right here is the Oak Street Railroad crossing. They put this gravel in just temporary to fill in the holes. Here's the asphalt that came out from where the crossing actually was. That house would be the awesome place to live. If that house ever comes for sale, I want to know about it. They got their own railroad crossing. Their driveway actually starts right there. They've got their own privacy, barn, railroad crossing, perfect view of the trains. And down this way, the track rolled a little bit here too. We're facing High Street, facing east. But wait, there's more! Here we go! There always is. Holy cow. That was cool. A couple helper engines. Going back to shove another train. This is milepost 392 on the Heartland Corridor. Kimball, West Virginia, just south of Welch. They are screaming. Man, they are loud. Loaded coal train being shoved. That's the end of train device you hear chirping out of my radio. I'll tell you what, that has to be the loudest locomotives I've ever heard. I think they're even louder than the ones that I got going up the hill, Ludlow Hill in Kentucky. I think those engines were even louder than that. I mean, those were loud. I mean, they were just screaming coming out of that tunnel right there. That was something else. Loaded coal train. Kimball, West Virginia. All right, here we go. They're coming onto the bridge right now. Check out this shot. Is that cool or what?
Take a picture. You can probably make a nice black and white frame here. We'll try that with Brandon.
All right, there you go. Let's go get them again. I was able to get gas in between the stops here because they're going so slow. I got gas in between. Still had plenty of time. And the front of the train is just now coming up to the Brookville branch where it branches off. What is this here? Valley Junction, that's it, Valley Junction. And the Batmobile's parked over that way, so here we go. Oh, we got a train coming out of the tunnel. It's gonna go across the bridge here. This is gonna be cool. Sweet. Wow, that was cool. That was pretty awesome. Got a heritage unit on it too. I think that's what that was. I gotta look back to what that was on the front. The tunnel's like right over here, but this wall's in the way. It's too bad that wall's there. It'd be kind of cool. It says you are being watched. Well, you don't want to go over there then. Might have a better shot on the other side of the road. That was pretty awesome though. Clear RB main 1. It's a track on the right. There's the old C&O signals looking cool. Or the train. They can go up to 25 in that direction. Ooh, it's hot. There she goes. She'll be going through Paintsville, Prestonsburg, where I used to live a long time ago. And I'm not sure where it goes to from there, but they'll be loading out somewhere. That was cool. Finally got a train going underneath those old Chesapeake and Ohio cantilever signals. My third try and success, finally. Thanks for watching. That's cool. All right, check this out. We got an eastbound train coming, and I'm right in front of the Bank of Thurmond. There's the coaling tower. This will be a good shot right here.
G1 left 12 is 9180. Main number 2, clear. Thurmond.
Clear, main number 2, Thurmond, he said. Oh yeah, rival power. This is a loaded grain train. It's a heavy one. Check out the springs. How do you do, Mr. DPU? That is a loud DPU there. Working hard. Look at that. What a cool shot. This is awesome. I'm on a giant model railroad layout, 1:1 scale.
So y'all look good, got your motor on the rear. Guy thinks still looking at you.
There you go, just past the other train that's sitting over there, coal train. 3 locomotives on the lead, waiting for this one to pass. They just told them that they looked good, everything looked good on the rear. That was a good train. Loaded grain train. Now we've got a coal train coming. It's gonna be westbound, come from that direction right there. But wait, there's more, there always is. Got a train coming out of the tunnel. Check this out. This is gonna be awesome. DPU, I see you. There's a maintenance way office right down there. Several maintenance way trucks. Well, that was a good train. That was long. Holy cow. That's probably the longest intermodal train I've ever seen. That was a boatload of intermodals. Wow. Have you ever seen an intermodal train that long before? That's got to be the longest one I've seen. Well, I got to get back in the truck and get the air conditioner on. I am burning up. It's hot, about 90 degrees. Just the humidity is what gets you. There's some kind of live action going on over there. Well, let's have a look around town a little bit more. All right, so we got a freight train coming before the steam train, and I'm listening to them on 161.370. That's the same frequency as the old L&N back home. Here they come, northbound. I think it's an ethanol train. All right, no runners. So let's check for that. Look at all that ethanol. This is a long train. I didn't know this track was this busy. Steam train's having to wait for this one. Wow, I can feel heat coming off those cars. see you. Wow, was that a long one or what? Man, that was a good train there. Right up the middle of the street. That thing was probably 2 miles long. Anybody count the cars on that? Leave a comment below. Let me know how many cars that was. That was a good one. Still waiting on that steam train to come too. It's 38 degrees and the lights are starting to flash. See there? Looks like these people from Dual Light are going to get to see the train. At least the sun's out. It's cold with the wind though. There's Big Blue. Working hard on the hill. Listen to that power. I hope the camera's picking that up. That's Main Street right there they're crossing. There you go. That was pretty awesome. Over here at milepost 33, and that's where the defect detector used to be. Right there is the milepost 33. Defect detector's right there behind that leaning pole. It's on the left right there. Let's have a look at the rail here up close. Look how shiny it is now. That really got it shining. Sounding good. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hey, everybody's been asking about my Florida videos. Listen to that. And one of my Florida videos I posted came out kind of weird. Didn't come out how I wanted. They're approaching Afton right now on the east end of Afton. restricted, they said. Anyways, I want to show one of my videos from Florida of a railroad crossing that's in the middle of a 4-lane highway. It's a diamond crossing. It didn't come out good in my video. I'm gonna put it in this one for those of you who didn't see it. Make this video a little bit longer, a little bit better. So here we go. A couple shots from Florida. There's the diamond. Let's check the other end. Look how long this crossing is, all the way down to there. So they give plenty of time for the cars to get out of the crossing. This is gonna be really cool. Heritage engine. Northbound. I saw it go south at 5:30. 5:35 it went south. 5:35 a.m. Wow, that's cool. Some kind of live action going on. I tried to show it as much as possible. Each one of these cars empties about 28 tons. and they'll hold about 114 tons. So these little tiny things can get pretty heavy when they're loaded. The Bone Valley in Florida. This is a good one. There's Mrs. Tooth making a video for me. All right, there she goes. That was a good one. Got here just in time. I heard it on my scanner. I was at the motel on 161.370. It's the same frequency that they use back home for CSX, some of the old L&N routes back home. So when I heard it on the scanner, I zipped over here. There's my rental car right there. I parked it in this church parking lot. That's the best way to do it. This church parking lot right here. I parked right there, ran over to the tracks, and had a lot of success. That was a good one. And there she goes. Thanks for watching, everyone. Here we go. Let's see if anybody uses a bypass. It's just gonna be a little short train, so you might not see it be used. L04. Here comes someone using it. Look at that. A lot of people using the bypass on a little dinky train. There she goes. Well, that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can get something else while we're up here. Even bicyclists use it. See that? There you go. All right, here we go. This is interesting. I never got this angle before either. Hey, what is, hey, cool. interesting. Hey, a chicken coop. Somebody's bought a chicken coop. That was interesting. That was really cool seeing that. And the other train is still broken down that way somewhere. So, let's see what else happens here. It's getting interesting. Anchor. They have retarders on the track to slow the cars down so they can adjust the speed of those cars that are rolling. They're building trains with them. Classification yard here. So they're all going to different places. Is that cool or what? All right. Nobody getting off? Nope. Nobody's getting off. Nobody got on. Amtrak dropping the signal. There you go. They just knocked the signal down from green to red as Amtrak passed. Nobody got on, no one got off. All right, here we go. Check this out. Look at this view. Amtrak. Cool. That was one of the best shots I ever got of Amtrak. That was a good one. Coming out of a tunnel. There they go. Wow, that was a good one. Right here, this railroad crossing. Downtown Gallitzin, Pennsylvania. Tunnel in is right over there. One of these days I'm gonna stay there again. I was only there at one time. Yeah, one night I was driving across Pennsylvania. I think I was headed towards maybe Harrisburg, I'm not sure. And I just called over there, see if they had an open room. They did. So my son and I spent the night there. Got to watch some trains. That was a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. I've also stayed in the one in Crescent Inn. That's another good one. The one in Crescent, I stayed there one night when a rail grinder train went through. Lit the whole place up. I mean, it lit the whole place up. It was awesome. Hey, I'm finally getting lucky. We got a train coming up the hill. Can't believe it. Finally getting the train coming up the hill. Hope it's a big heavy one. Sounds like they're straining. Working hard. I'm over here at Beechwood Road, Crescent Springs. Moving around a little bit today. A few different spots within a couple miles. Well, within 3 miles. 3 mile stretch. I'm moving around those spots today. Look at that. Now that's a great shot. There's a flange greaser. They need those on this hill because there's really sharp curves. They've got several of them. Wow, did you hear those locomotives? They were working. There's a bad flat spot. Those locomotives are really sanding the rails and working hard. That sounded awesome. I hope that picks up on the camera because that really sounds awesome. Right after the locomotives went past me, there was a big flat spot on a car covering part of the sound up. And then another flat spot about 10 cars later or so. Got some square wheels. I heard him say the train number. It was either 171 or 177. I'm not sure which one they said. They said it a couple times. I wasn't paying close attention. I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to the train numbers. I go to too many places, I can't remember them all. They change them a lot too. So they don't really mean a whole lot to me. On this line, most of the trains, let's see here, let me think about this for a minute. Most of the trains that go south have odd numbers. Most of the trains going north are even numbers. The train I look for is train 123. They have Caterpillar loads on it and high and wide loads on the front. I haven't seen train 123 in a long time though. I've got them quite a few times with Caterpillar loads and big transformers. They always put them on the front. some hobo tags on those cars. Oh, there comes the end of it. There you go, a southbound train going up the hill. This is about milepost 7, somewhere in that area. And the very top of the hill is just before you get to milepost 10. Just past milepost 10, if they have a manned helper on the back up at Ellesmere, that's where they cut the helpers off and go back down the hill. I haven't got that today. All right, thanks for watching. Hey, I want to show you something over here at the railroad crossing. That last train went by sanding the rails. Look at all this sand. See that sand building up? It may not have been from that train, but that is sand that comes from the locomotives. It gives the wheels traction on the rail. These rails are 136 pounds per yard, vacuum treated, made in the USA. Rolled in 2011. There you go. I don't know what that middle mark is right there. Something USA. I'm not sure what that is. All right, here we go. We got another train coming. Got an eastbound manifest. This one might have a heritage unit as a DPU. So let's see what we got on this one. This ought to be a good one. Just not coming around the curve. So the gate should activate at any time. Got a mixed freight. It'll be on the track closest to me. Track 1. Yeah, track 1. They use 160.875. Here goes the gates. Check it out. Now about 5 or 6 years ago, a little ways back, they used to use 160.800. So they changed frequencies to 160.875. Fused back for the main line. Here we go. Love those old boxcars. Those are pretty cool. Oh, I smell the burning. They're coming down off the mountain. You can really smell the burning. 3257 on the placard. Hot. Look at that old rust bucket. Those hoppers are all loaded. They're heavy. DPU, I see you. There she is. I've got that locomotive in a bunch of different states. Southern Heritage Unit. DPU. I got that on the office car special too. Wow, this is a long one. Holy cow. Man, you can smell those brake shoes. You can really smell them. Well, they stopped. Let's see what happens next. All right, here we go. We got an eastbound train coming. Right next to this 1922 coaling tower. GPU, I hear you. GPU, I see you. Wow, they were loud. Working hard. Probably around 13 to 15,000 tons of coal on this train. This is a long one. That was cool looking. Somebody put some time into that one. That was some pretty awesome looking graffiti. Here comes the end. There's the end of the train device. Chirping on 452.9375. The locomotive has a front end of train device, and it's 5 megahertz higher. I'm going to film one down there where that thing's clanking. That's pretty cool. Well, as long as the train's moving by, you get a little bit of a breeze, but I am burning up right now. I'm going to take the shirt off and get something lighter on because it's really humid out. I don't know what the temperature is, but humidity is just terrible. All right, that was pretty cool. Let's see what else we can get into. All right, here we go. Train's finally coming. Not a real fan. They just missed out on a good one. GP10 there on the end, and that'll be leading on the way back. Just now passing the railroad yard here, if you want to call it that. It's got two sidings down there on the left. All right, this is a popular place here with the rail fans. Amico right across the road. Look at these buildings, pretty interesting. I'd like to be in one of these. Maybe that one over there. Spend a weekend in that one, see how many trains go through. I know there's not that many trains on this line. You've got the auto rack trains from Greensburg. All right, let's go catch them again somewhere. All right, so check this out. I'm in Franklin right now, and the train's getting ready to reverse across the crossing over here. They're going to reverse across the road here on this Franklin Industrial Spur. Here's the crossing. Crossbuck protected. A lot of trees over there, it's kind of hard to see. But they'll be coming right over here in just a minute. Five to the crossing. Oh, there's a lot of traffic. Give me three, he said. Well, that was pretty cool. I wish that they were doing some street running today, but in a half hour's time, they wouldn't have time to do it, so I think that's probably pretty much out. Looks like they're just going to set off some cars and leave. Well, let's see what else we can get into. I'd like to live in that house right there, or rent it or something for the weekends. Okay, see what else we can get into. Hello everyone, Jawtooth again, and today I'm in Carlisle, Ohio. Downtown Carlisle at the Beechler Road Railroad Crossing. This is CSX. Check this out. We got a train coming right now, and this is where the Duff Spur meets CSX. A GMS2 sitting over there. We'll talk more about that and get a closer look after this train. Start the video, son. We're going to see if we get some Norfolk Southern too. Here we go. I see you. Wow, they were in a hurry. What is the hurry anyway? Man, that train was booking. Holy cow. Gates were still down. They were in a big hurry to go somewhere. And that was literally two trains in one. The first section was loaded grain train. Then they had two DPUs with empty coal cars after that. And they're headed southbound on the Toledo sub. Next stop, Queensgate Yard, Cincinnati. All right, we're gonna go across the road and have a look at that GMS2 over there. Talked a little bit about it. It's right over there. It's on the Duff Spur. Rarely ever does anything happen on that spur. It's always rusty. All right, thanks for watching. That was pretty cool. Hey, check this out. I found this parked on the siding. This is the track, the 5-mile track that goes to Carlisle, the Duff Spur. And it's got a GMS2 parked on it. CSX has two of these. So what that stands for is Gauge Measurement System. And there's two of them on the CSX system. It puts artificial stress in different directions on the rail to simulate a passing train and measures the amount of deflection caused by the stress to determine if the tie, spikes, and the anchor systems are functioning properly. Is that cool or what? And there's this one here sitting in Carlisle on the Duff Spur. And the Duff Spur starts right over there. You can see the CSX main line. So right there is where the Duff Spur starts. Duff's only runs a train every few months or so on this line, which I've been lucky to film a couple times. So this track is almost always rusty, as you can probably tell in this video. Let's just have a look. The rail is always like that, but I do have a couple really good videos of chasing the Dupps train with that little red engine, little GE end cab. You got that one locomotive, and they haul these gigantic food rendering machines on heavy duty flat cars. See my videos of that. All right, let's get a CSX train over here somewhere. It's been kind of a slow day today. All right, here we go. We're hearing some dinging up there. No train horn zone. And I put it in 4K just for this shot. Cool, look at that. That's the bike trail dinging. And that's the bike trail right there, gates going up. They've also got those horns on the poles at the next crossing down. Right after this train went across this crossing, you could hear it. It should come out on this camera. I heard it one time. Let's have a look here at the rail real quick. 1978, November. Here you go. 122 pounds per yard. And something else I want to point out, this track over there, I've actually seen that track used before. That little piece that's left over, that used to be the connecting track from the Pennsylvania Railroad to the B&O line. And after they closed Pennsylvania Railroad, that track was used by Nisbet's Lumber Company. They would set off box cars and flat cars full of lumber. So I got a lot of pictures of that. I used to come down here and watch them switching the siding for that. The siding is long gone. That's the only piece left. Let's have a close look at the rail. There you go, got it all shined up. There was a little bit of rust, and it's long gone. All right, thanks for watching. Check out another video to help my channel out. All right, we'll see you later. All right, here we go. Must be moving kind of slow. That was cool. Solar panels on those cars. Amazing way. Cars. This is going to be a long one. I see DPU. DPU, I see you. We are one. Here we go. We are one. Finally got that one. That's what I came for. There they go. There's a Norfolk Southern train going on the track. This is right behind me. I can't see it. It's on the other side of the city building. Let's see how long this train is. It'll send a signal over that defect detector here in just a second. So let's see what this is. There's my radio, just a little cheap Baofeng. I don't recommend it. That's just what I use. Anytime that's going to go off.
CSX equipment defect detector. Milepost 89er.0. No defects. No defects. Total axle 578. Train lane 869er 1. End of transmission.
M573, no defects.
There you go. Over 8,000 feet long. That was a good one. Thanks for watching. Here we go. Not a rail fan. That might be a rail fan there. They're waiting. departure gates go up. That was a fast train. They were really booking. There you go. I hope I get some long trains today. All right, thanks for watching. We'll get something else. See what happens. Okay, here we go. We got another train. We'll come around the sharp curve here on a little bit of super elevated track. Looks like they're booking. This is northbound. Those are truck frames. Looks like a brand new tanker on the back. Now that train had everything. That's the kind of train you want to get right there. All kinds of box cars. And what about that second locomotive? I can't wait to look back at that. A slug or something in there. Had a DPU. And here's the curve. Another look at that. A couple sharp curves here. Yeah, that was a good train. Thanks for watching. Here we go. Train coming up the hill. Heavy train. Limestone slurry. Empty. Both those cars were empty. It's incredible how long these trains are anymore. They weren't this long when I was a little kid. Got some nice looking box cars coming up. That's my favorite. Boxcar is my favorite. This is potash here. All these covered hoppers, they're loaded with potash. Hey, DPU, I see you. Two of them. Sweet. They are really loud. Wow, that was a good one. Woo! Listen to that. That was pretty amazing. That was a heavy train there. I got my hat off. I forgot to put it on, so I'm standing in the shade of this telephone pole. Got the traffic all backed up. Check that out. The gates going up?
0 to 0. We have 2 of them.
Gates are still down for some reason. Not sure why.
1800.
Oh, they're going up. There you go. Well, thanks for watching. That was something else. Finally got another train coming on the CSX. Can't believe it. The train that's been broken down, they had some kind of mechanical issues with the locomotives. They're coming from that way, right there. Just heard them on the radio a few minutes ago. They were just going through Bank Lick. So I'm gonna get a different angle for this one. And this will be my last one of the day. That thing has been sitting in that siding for hours with mechanical issues.
575 location over. It's 00T89.5. Stand there. Got some asphalt removers working here at the main crossing. I'd like to see if you can make us a little extra noise when you.
Did you notice the slug? That was pretty awesome getting that slug. Good assortment of locomotives on this train. Glad I stuck around and got this one. Hey, that was a good catch. I'm really glad I stuck around for that one. There's a few other rail fans at the crossing also. A couple of them I've never met before. Let's see, where'd they go? They're over at the crossing somewhere. I want to listen to the defect detector, see how long that was. What'd you think of that slug on there? That was pretty awesome seeing that. You don't see many of those. I got one on the Norfolk Southern a couple weeks ago, a slug just like that, or very similar anyway.
Everything rolling, got a light hanging up.
There's Gambit, 1960 Gambit, Scott. And we're gonna see what they say on the radio. But until then, thanks for watching my videos. If you have time, check out all of my videos, because every view helps my channel. Gotta pay that gas somehow. This is a long drive from home. There's the Norfolk Southern crossing right over there. It'll be a long drive back. And tomorrow I'm going to be in Vandalia, Ohio, getting some trains. By the time you see this, I've already been there. But here's my radio. Let's listen for that defect detector. It's going to go off here pretty soon. 161.370 for CSX. The other frequency you see on there, that's Norfolk Southern's main channel. 160.950. Ready for a defect detector.
CSX equipment defect detector. Milepost 89er.0. No defects. No defects. Total axle 240. Train length 3404. End of transmission.
575 up 3 inches, 45, 34, no defects, good count,
All right, there you go. You got to hear the defect detector, the radio audio, and the engineer acknowledging that everything was fine with the train after passing the defect detector. Check out all of my videos. We'll see you later. Check out this view of the crossing here. Is this awesome or what? And you got the power plant way over there. See that? There's the old power plant. And here comes the train. There she goes. I wish that tree wasn't in the way there. All right. Woo, it's hot out here. 91 degrees. And I waited a couple hours for that one, but it was worth it. Great shot at this crossing. Wonder what all these people thought about that. They just probably thought that was some kind of passenger train. But like I said, there's the old power plant right over there. Different look at it. But wait, there's more. Here comes Amtrak. Just heard it hit the defect detector. It's on track 3. Oh man, they're booking. What is the hurry? There they go. That sure didn't take long. 10 seconds and they're way past me. Look at that. Wonder how fast they're going. At least 45. Probably way more than that. That was a good one. Just got Amtrak. I heard them go past the defect detector. It was at 254.7. And here's where we're at. 255.8. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Alright, here comes a westbound train coming out of the tunnel. You can see the rails starting to light up a little bit. Here we go, westbound train. There she goes. Got a siding over there. I have seen them use that siding before. Thanks for watching. That was a good one. All right, here we go. Here comes Amtrak. Eastbound Amtrak coming into Altoona. Check this out. I'm on the engineer side. Well, this will be a good one. All right, those gates are already back up too. Look at that. All righty, we got Amtrak again. I hardly ever get to see Amtrak where I live because Cincinnati, you only got the Cardinal, makes 3 round trips a week. I go down to Florida, I catch it down there. Other than that, I don't really see Amtrak very much. That was a good one. Okay, here they come. Coming around the curve. I'm right down at the bottom of the hill in Batavia. Look at this. Check out that shot. Loaded rock cars. This is a heavy one. Wow, that was a heavy one. They had everything on there. Even boxcars. Boxcars from Hutamaki. That really had to shine the rails up. Yep, nice and shiny. That was awesome. I'm really glad that Batavia's mowing this. This looks nice. I remember the train station here back when I was a kid. I don't know when it was tore down, but it was a brick building right here, and there used to be several other tracks down in the bottom. There was some sidings down there. those are long gone. You can't hardly tell the sightings were even there. So I guess I'm on Depot Street. I wonder if there's a chance I can catch them a second time. Wouldn't that be cool? Let's see what happens next. Here we go. All right, here we go. Start the live action, son. Let's hope for the best. Oh, man. Boxcar. DPU, I see you. Wow, was that awesome or what? Man, that DPU was really working hard. That was a good one there. And they're headed eastbound. They'll be going into Ohio here in just a few minutes. So that was pretty cool. I was hoping for some high and wide loads on it, but not today. They don't always have them. So thanks for watching, everyone. Let's see what else we can catch up here. All right, we got the M575 coming through right now. There we go. Finally. Let's see if the gates come on. There it comes. Not a real fan. Get out the way. Train coming. Now this one should have 2 DPUs in the middle. Southbound. Go right up the middle of the road. That's the way to get around. Check out this auto rack. The door's open on the end. You can see right into it. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Who's in there? I can feel the ground shaking a little bit here, standing on the sidewalk. That one made the sidewalk shake. I could feel it that time. Got some heavy tankers, they're loaded. Placards 3257 says hot. DPUs, I see yous. Alrighty, there you go. Man, that was a good one. That was a monster train. It took about 10 minutes to go by. Well, thanks for watching my videos, everyone. If you got time, check out another one. I got a long drive home, and I hope you can hear me. Ooh, it's loud here. Alright, we'll see you later. Check out another video when we can. Thanks for watching my video, and if you have time, check out another one of my videos. Every view helps pay for the gas. Alright, we'll see you later.